Imagine yourself standing on the deck of a merchant ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The sea is calm, yet there's a chill that pierces your spine, a premonition of impending doom. Suddenly, a dark silhouette appears on the horizon, sails black as midnight, a skull and crossbones flapping defiantly in the salty wind. Your heart pounds as reality dawns. Pirates. These ruthless sea robbers ruled the Atlantic during colonial America, turning vast stretches of ocean into their lawless playground. But who were the most terrifying, cunning, and infamous among these maritime marauders? Let's dive deep into the gripping tales of the top 10 pirates of colonial America who struck fear into the hearts of sailors, merchants, and even empires. At number 10, we meet Charles Vane, a pirate renowned not only for his brutality, but his unyielding defiance. Operating around the Bahamas in the early 18th century, Vane despised authority, openly scorning offers of royal pardons. His cruelty was legendary. He would set captured ships ablaze after stripping them of valuables, often leaving their crews marooned on remote islands with no hope of rescue. His infamous clashes with authorities, including a daring escape from a blockade, solidified his image as an unbreakable pirate whose ruthless nature made him one of piracy's most feared figures. Coming in at number 9 is Samuel Bellamy, known affectionately and ironically as Black Sam. Bellamy embodied the Robin Hood of pirates, stealing from the wealthy and sparing the innocent. Yet his generosity didn't soften his reputation as one of history's wealthiest pirates. Commanding the Whydah galley, he amassed enormous wealth, challenging the class structures of his day by openly criticizing the rich and powerful. His sudden and tragic demise off Cape Cod during a violent storm in 1717 left behind a trove of treasures, most still unrecovered, fueling legends of hidden pirate gold. At number 8, the spotlight falls on Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate. Unlike most pirates, Bonnet was no sailor, but a wealthy plantation owner who abandoned comfort for crime, driven by adventure and the desire to escape his domestic life. Despite lacking nautical skill, his charisma and wealth allowed him to assemble a crew. His bizarre entry into piracy, often mocked by contemporaries, ended with his capture and execution in Charleston, leaving a fascinating legacy of a man whose piracy was driven by existential rebellion rather than necessity. Number 7 brings forth Edward Lowe, a pirate whose mere name sent chills down the spines of mariners. Lowe's notoriety was built on merciless violence. He routinely tortured and mutilated prisoners to instill terror and compliance among his victims. His operations extended across vast regions of the Atlantic, and his brutal reputation led many merchant ships to deliberately scuttle themselves upon spotting his flag. Lowe's infamous cruelty made him a symbol of piracy's darkest extremes, remembered more for horror than heroism. Moving up the list, at number 6, we encounter Anne Bonny, one of history's fiercest female pirates. Anne defied societal norms with relentless aggression, courageously battling alongside men with unmatched ferocity. Initially disguising herself as a man, Anne later revealed her true identity, stunning both friend and foe alike. Her exploits alongside fellow pirate Mary Read were legendary, challenging gender roles and highlighting piracy as a rare avenue for women to assert dominance and independence in a restrictive society. At number 5, Henry Jennings commands attention, a privateer turned pirate whose insatiable greed shaped his infamous career. Jennings was notorious for plundering shipwrecks, most famously targeting the Spanish treasure fleet off Florida's coast. His calculated actions provoked international outrage, significantly impacting diplomatic relations and illustrating piracy's profound influence on geopolitical tensions during colonial times. Black Caesar claims the 4th spot, an African war chieftain turned pirate whose life story embodies the complex intersections of piracy, slavery, and resistance. Caesar operated primarily in the Florida Keys, famed for stealth attacks and hidden treasure caches. His transformation from enslaved captive to feared pirate leader illustrated the brutality of the era and the complex moral ambiguities surrounding pirate life, making his narrative one of tragedy, resistance, and ruthless power. Coming in at number 3, Bartholomew Roberts, known as Black Bart, emerges as arguably the most successful pirate of the Atlantic. Capturing over 400 ships, Roberts exemplified piracy's golden age through unparalleled efficiency and discipline. His strict pirate code maintained order among crews, turning piracy into a structured, near-corporate enterprise. Roberts's meticulous governance and extraordinary success forced empires to confront piracy as a genuine threat to global commerce. The number 2 spot belongs to William Kidd, a pirate whose legacy is shrouded in controversy. Originally commissioned as a pirate hunter, Kidd's transformation into piracy remains mysterious and hotly debated. His trial and execution sparked fierce debates about justice and corruption within colonial governance. Kidd's infamous buried treasure, some yet undiscovered, fueled endless speculation and myth-making, ensuring his legend endures in the popular imagination. Finally, at number 1 stands the notorious Edward Teach, immortalized as Blackbeard. His fearsome persona, complete with a thick, braided beard lit by smoking fuses, crafted an image designed specifically to instill terror. Commanding the formidable Queen Anne's revenge, Blackbeard exemplified piracy's ruthless dominance, disrupting commerce and intimidating even powerful colonial governors. His violent end in a dramatic battle off the coast of North Carolina, where he fought fiercely despite sustaining numerous fatal wounds, secured his place as colonial America's most feared pirate. These 10 pirates didn't merely terrorize, they reshaped history, challenged empires, and became enduring symbols of rebellion and chaos. Each name carries a legacy soaked in blood, gold, and seawater, captivating imaginations centuries later. They remind us of a tumultuous time when the seas were uncharted territory for the bold, ruthless, and defiant, an era forever captured in the legends of piracy. Expanding further on these pirates, it becomes clear how their individual exploits contributed uniquely to the larger-than-life legends that persist to this day. Charles Vane, for instance, became emblematic not only of defiance, but also of piracy's uncompromising rejection of societal norms and hierarchical authority. His refusal to accept pardons, even when surrounded and outnumbered, set a powerful precedent for pirate defiance, inspiring generations of maritime rebels who viewed surrender as an unforgivable betrayal. Samuel Bellamy's short but explosive career at sea exemplifies a fascinating contradiction inherent in pirate lore: the coexistence of ruthless criminality and genuine ideological rebellion. Bellamy's targeting of wealthy merchant vessels wasn't simply motivated by greed. His openly stated contempt for oppressive class structures presented piracy as a radical challenge to entrenched social injustices. His exploits, culminating in the sinking of his treasure-laden ship, the Whydah, near Massachusetts, have inspired numerous expeditions and treasure hunts, fueling public fascination with pirate lore even centuries later. Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate, further complicates this picture by highlighting piracy as not merely driven by desperation or necessity, but also by existential unrest. Bonnet's peculiar decision to forsake a privileged existence for the dangerous and unpredictable life of piracy speaks volumes about the human desire for freedom and adventure. His unusual path drew mockery and intrigue in equal measure, symbolizing the allure of piracy as an escape from conformity and monotony. This romantic aspect of piracy endures, continually attracting attention from historians, artists, and popular culture. Edward Lowe's brutal tactics showcased piracy at its most savage extreme, reminding us that beneath romanticized tales lay true horrors. His willingness to mutilate captives and mercilessly intimidate his prey left an indelible mark on maritime commerce, drastically altering shipping routes and compelling merchant vessels to sail heavily armed or under convoy. Lowe's legacy challenges modern idealizations, underscoring piracy's often grim reality and demonstrating how genuine terror became a key weapon in their strategic arsenal. Anne Bonny's legacy transcends typical pirate narratives through her powerful defiance of gender norms. By openly flaunting her femininity in a fiercely male-dominated arena, Bonny embodied both rebellion and empowerment. Her legendary partnership with Mary Read elevated their story beyond mere piracy, symbolizing broader themes of freedom and agency for women in a patriarchal colonial society. The lasting impact of their legend continues to inspire feminist interpretations of history and re-examinations of gender roles in traditionally male-dominated narratives. Henry Jennings's actions illustrate the thin, often blurred lines between sanctioned privateering and outright piracy. His bold targeting of the Spanish treasure fleets highlighted piracy's geopolitical ramifications, demonstrating how pirates directly influenced colonial politics, diplomacy, and warfare. Jennings's provocations heightened international tensions, notably between Spain and Britain, exemplifying piracy as more than criminality. It was a pivotal, disruptive geopolitical force. Black Caesar's story uniquely represents the intersection of piracy, slavery, and resistance. His rise from enslaved captive to feared pirate leader encapsulates the complexities of piracy as both rebellion against oppression and an avenue of survival and power. Caesar's narrative continues to resonate powerfully, embodying piracy's multifaceted role as resistance to colonial cruelty and racial oppression. Bartholomew Roberts, known for his strict code and managerial brilliance, demonstrates piracy's paradoxical nature as simultaneously anarchic and highly structured. Roberts introduced order into the chaos of piracy, elevating it into a disciplined, formidable economic enterprise. His highly successful career reshaped imperial strategies, forcing nations to recognize piracy as a serious threat that required organized military responses. William Kidd's story encapsulates the moral ambiguity inherent in pirate legends. Initially celebrated as a hero and pirate hunter, his transformation into a pirate, or perceived pirate, showcases the ease with which the lines between heroism and villainy could blur. Kidd's controversial trial and execution reveal the political machinations and corruption within colonial justice systems, and his lost treasures continue to fascinate treasure hunters and historians alike, perpetuating piracy's enduring mystique. Lastly, Blackbeard's legendary image and spectacular death encapsulate the dramatic culmination of piracy's golden age. His carefully cultivated persona, designed explicitly to intimidate, transformed him into an enduring symbol of terror on the high seas. The epic battle leading to his demise further immortalized his name, cementing his place as the ultimate pirate icon whose legacy resonates in countless retellings and representations in popular culture. Collectively, these pirates illuminate piracy's profound and enduring cultural resonance, highlighting its dual role as brutal criminality and romanticized rebellion. Their stories continue to captivate, their legends thriving centuries after their deaths, reminding us that the allure of piracy lies as much in its ideals of freedom and defiance as in its darker truths.